Hey everyone, this is going to be my first series of song lessons, like I mentioned in the channel update. This is going to be T&C by Thrice. I'm going to go through every part, note for note. I'm going to break it down and make it real easy for you to learn. And I think if you want to learn this song and you watch this video, by the end of it, after you put in the practice, however much you need, you should be able to play it comfortably. So just a couple things to start off. This song is in the key of C sharp minor, and the relative major is E. Knowing the key, at least for me, really helps when I'm figuring out a song, because if I'm familiar with the scales and if I'm familiar with what notes are in that key, I know what won't be played. So if I'm trying to figure out a chord or a note, it takes away a lot of guesses, because I know, well, that chord isn't in the key, so they most likely won't play it. I can just disregard it and I wouldn't have to think about it. So I'm going to start with the intro. I'll go chronologically through the song. I will include the solo, both parts. The intro starts on C sharp, power chords. This song is mostly power chords. Ends on A. And then the other guitar, Tepe, the lead, is playing C sharp as a root note in this riff. So the notes that he is accenting, the first is just the octave higher, C sharp. So that's going to be the 6th fret on the G string. And then the next note, he's just kind of descending down the scale. The next note is B, which is the 4th fret on the G string. Then 7th fret D string. And then 6th fret on the D string, hammer on back to the 7th fret. And then he'll play that same riff again, except the second time around there's no hammer on back to the 7th fret on the D string. It just ends on the 6th fret. So I'll play that, and then I'll play it again, except the root note isn't C sharp, it's A. So he just plucks the open string. Okay, and so he'll keep playing that. Dustin comes in with the harmony. Same root notes, those aren't harmonized, so he's still doing C sharp, the 4th fret on the A string, and then A, which is just the open A string, except the harmony part. First is the 5th fret on the B string, then the 4th fret on the B string, and then the 6th fret on the G string, and then the 4th fret on the G string, and then you're going to hammer on back to the 6th fret. Okay, then the song really picks up. And then they go into the part right before the verse, where it's like open chords. This part's pretty simple. The rhythm, Dustin's part is, you got C sharp on the 4th fret on the A string, and then an A, and then a B power chord, and then G sharp, which is 4th fret on the E string. Now, Tepe plays the lead. It's an octave lead, and the lead is very similar to the riff they were just playing. It's the same notes as the harmony, actually. So it's an E octave on the 7th fret, and then down to the 6th fret, 1/2 step down, and then 4th fret. This is all in the A string, by the way. And then the B, that's on the 2nd fret, hammer on, or no, sorry, not hammer on, slide up back to the 4th fret. Okay, then it goes into the verse. All right, so the verse is fairly simple, especially Dustin's part. He's playing the same 4 chords that he just was in the intro. They're just palm muted. So 4th fret, A string power chord, that's a C sharp. And then he plays an A. B. And then a G sharp. So he plays that a couple times. Now the lead, again, very similar to the intro. He's actually playing the harmony of the main riff, so Dustin's part. However, he's following, instead of just switching back from C sharp to A and then back to C sharp, he's playing the four notes that Dustin's playing. So he's following that chord progression. So C sharp, and then again, remember, B string, 5th fret, B string, 4th fret, G string, 6th fret, and then G string, 4th fret, hammer on back to the 6th string. So first with C sharp, that's the 4th fret on the A string. And then Dustin plays an A power chord next, so Tepe's playing an A, so open A string. Next is B. Now when I played the cover of this, what I did is I played an octave higher of the root notes. So instead of playing C sharp here, I played it here. And then for A, I played, and so on. I don't know if Tepe is playing the octave higher or not. I think it's very easy to do both, except when it comes to B. If you want to play the low note, you have to move your hand down here. And when I've watched some live videos, Tepe doesn't move his hand. He keeps his hand here the whole time. And you can't really play the B low note in that riff in this position unless you use your pinky here on the 7th fret on the E string. And I mean, I can't even do that. And Tepe doesn't do that. That is very hard, and it's much easier to play it down here. But again, he doesn't do that. So what he might do is play the B an octave higher, which is the 4th fret on the G string. And then he plays through that riff. And then he goes back to G sharp, which is, remember, 4th fret, E string. So that's the lead for the verse. Both verses are the same. In the second verse, Dustin doesn't play anything. I think he just lets it ring out. But the Tepe's lead is the same. All right, now for the awesome sing-along chorus. Very simple. Every chorus in the song is played the same way, so I'm only going to go over it once. We'll start with the rhythm. Now, the first 2 times around, Dustin and Tepe play exactly the same thing, just power chords. And that is starting on the A string, a C sharp power chord. So all 3 of those chords are on the A string. The second chord is a passing chord. It's a inverted B major. And so what that is, B is not the lowest note, but it's still which is generally what we use to refer to a chord. But in this case, it's not. So you start on the 6th fret on the A string, then the 9th fret on the D string, and then the 8th fret on the G string, which is just the octave, right? So that's the second chord in that phrase. It's just a quick passing chord, and then an E power chord. And then A on the 5th fret on the E string to B. So Dustin plays that 4 times in the chorus. Tepe will play it twice, and the 3rd time he starts his lead riff. All right, now for Tepe's lead part, which is played after Dustin and Tepe played the chord progression twice. It's a fairly simple lead. I don't know it exactly because it's hard to make out in the song, but it's very, very close, and I think you'll be happy with it if you play along the record or you cover it with your band. So Tepe is really just kind of noodling around on the 9th fret on various strings. He's arpeggiating an E major chord, and he's starting on the B string and then going to the G string and then the D string. All in the 9th fret. He's barring it with his index finger. So he's kind of arpeggiating that, and then he'll throw in an A note, which is the 10th fret on the B string, and he'll hammer on with his middle finger. And then he'll, instead of arpeggiating the notes, he'll kind of strum them all together like a chord. And then at the end, before he goes into the next chord, I definitely hear him throw in that A one more time. And then the last chord he plays is a B major chord. He plays this exactly when Dustin plays the B power chord. So it totally makes sense what they're doing. And that is 9th fret D string, 8th fret G string, and then 7th fret B string. So it goes like this. Again, I don't think that's exact. It's very hard to make out on the record, but I know it's close. So play it however you want, but just using those notes. So for the interlude, this is after the first chorus and into the second verse. It's very, very similar to the intro. The chord progression is exactly the same, so Dustin's not changing his part. Tepe changes his part a little bit. There's that octave lead. So the first time around, throughout that chord progression, it's the same. So and then the second time around goes something like this. Okay, so for the first time, when Dustin's playing the C sharp, because Tepe goes through that lead every time it changes the chord, the progression. So the first part's the same as always. And then the second time you go up, so you still start on the E, and then but you go to the 9th fret, back down to the E, 7th fret, and then down to the 6th fret, slide up, back to the 7th fret. Next time you start on the 11th fret, down to the 9th fret, down to the 7th fret, and then 6th fret, slide up to the 7th fret. And then the next time is same as always. Just resolves back onto C sharp, and they start the verse. Time to dig into the solo. I'm going to break this up into digestible chunks, and I'm going to go over both Tepe and Dustin's parts. So we'll start with Tepe because he plays most of the solo. So we're going to start on the 9th fret on the G string. 9th fret, 8th fret, back to the 9th fret, down to the 8th fret again, and then back to the 9th fret. Then the 11th fret, down to the 9th, down to the 8th, up to the 9th, down to the 8th, then to the 11th fret. However, this is now on the D string. Kind of do a little slide down. Second time around is very similar. Except there's a hammer-on pull-off. That's 8th fret to the 9th fret, back down to the 8th fret. Third time around is the same as the first time. And the fourth time around, very similar to the second time, because you do that hammer-on pull-off. However, after that hammer-on pull-off, go back to the D string on the 10th fret, then the 11th fret, then the 8th fret on the G string. Okay, so I'm going to play the whole thing. Now, if you're curious why he played the 10th fret on the D string, or how that works in the song, if you're familiar with the keys, remember I said this is in C sharp minor, and this is C, which is not in the key of C sharp minor. What he's doing there is changing the key just for a second into C sharp harmonic minor. And C sharp and any harmonic minor key is the same as a minor key. However, you raise the 7th note in that key 1/2 step. So, for example, in the key of C sharp, you've got, C sharp minor, you've got, but in the key of C sharp harmonic minor, you've got. So that's all he's doing, if you're curious. Very fun to do. You hear it a lot in like Baroque music, things like that. So now what Dustin plays for the harmony, he is on mostly the B string. He's starting on the 9th fret. He's going down to the 7th fret, back up to the 9th fret, back down to the 7th fret, back up to the 9th fret, then up to the 10th fret, back down to the 9th, back down to the 7th, up to the 9th, down to the 7th, then down to the 9th fret. However, this is now on the G string. Second time around, remember there's that hammer-on pull-off. Third time around is the same as the first time. And so for the fourth time, remember there's that hammer-on pull-off. And then it goes into harmonic minor. In this case, Dustin plays the 8th fret on the G string, up to the 9th fret G string, then the 7th fret B string, and there's the first part of the solo, we'll call it. Now the second part, so very similar. Tepe is going to start on the 9th fret. So 9th fret, G string, down to the 8th fret. Then the 11th fret, but on the D string. 9th fret, D string, back up to the 11th fret on the D string. Then we're going to the G string again, 8th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret, down to the 9th fret, 8th fret, 11th fret, D string, and then the 8th fret, G string. Then we're jumping with our pinky to the 12th fret on the B string. Now here comes a really fun lick I like to play. You're going to bar the 9th fret, the E string and the B string with your index finger. You're going to place your ring finger on the 11th fret and your pinky finger on the 12th fret on the E string. And you're going to pluck that E string on the 11th fret. You're going to pull off to the 9th fret. And then you're going to, as it's ringing, you're going to hit the B string on the 9th fret. Then you're going to do the 12th fret with your pinky. Again, another pull off, let it ring, and then hit the B string on the 9th fret. Okay, so that's it. That's really it. Sounds harder than it is. Next, you're going to play the 9th fret on the E string. So 9th fret, E string, 11th fret, 12th fret, back down, 11, 9. Now we're on the B string, 12th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret. Then a hammer-on pull-off, 9th fret, 10th fret, back down to the 9th fret. Now we're on the G string, 11th fret, to the 9th fret on the G string. Then going back up to the 11th fret on the G string, you're going to bend it. And then as you're bending it, or right after you bend it, sorry, you hit the 9th fret on the B string with your index finger. And then you're going to do that kind of bluesy bend that he does. So that lick, you're going to bend it, and then with the 9th fret barred with your index finger, the B string and the E string, you're just going to hit both of those two. Okay. Or you can hit them individually if you want. That's just another popular blues lick. Then you're going to, so you do that 4 times. Then you bend the G string on the 11th fret. Bring it back down. Pull off to the 9th fret. Then you hit the D string 11th fret. Okay, now Dustin, he pretty much plays that same rhythm throughout the solo. However, when Tepe starts this part, he actually hits the E string and the B string on the 9th fret and just lets them ring out. Then he goes into the same chord progression. So he goes. So those two notes take the place of the first chord, that C sharp power chord. All right, next part of the solo. This is where we're getting into that nice harmonized part they have going on. We'll start with tepe. On the E string, slide up to the 16th fret. Helps if I actually do it right. Okay, with your index finger. Then the 17th fret on the B string, 18th fret on the G string, 18th fret on the D string, then the G string again, then you're skipping the B string and going to the E string again on the 16th fret, then the 14th fret, then the B string, 17th fret, down to the 16th fret, up to the 17th fret again, 16th fret, then you're going to end on the 14th fret on the B string. Then, interestingly enough, they switch who's playing the lead and who's playing the harmony. So that was the harmony, the higher part. Then tepe plays the low part. So you're going to play you're going to be on the G string, 14th fret, down to the 13th fret. Then the D string, 16th fret, down to the 14th fret, up to the 16th fret again. Then the 13th fret, G string. Then here's that hammer-on pull-off part, kind of descending down the scale. So this is all in the G string. 13, 14, 13. Then 11, 13. 9, 11, 9. And then 8th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret. You're going to do that twice. And then D string, 11th fret. And then 10th fret, D string, 2 times. First time palm muted. So you're going to end on that C, again, ending on that note that makes it harmonic minor. Now we'll go on to Dustin's part. So for Dustin's part, again, starting on the E string, we're on the 12th fret. Then the B string, 14th fret. G string, 13th fret. Then D string, 14th fret. Down to the G string again, 13th fret. Again, skipping the B string, just like we did with tepe's part, to the 12th fret on the E string. Then B string, 16th fret. That was 16, 14, 12 on the B string. Up to the 14th fret again. Down to the 12th fret again. And on the 14th fret on the G string. Then the next part, you're going to slide it to the 14th fret on the B string. So 14, down to the 12th fret, then 14 again, but on the G string, 13, up to the 14th fret again, then the 12th fret, B string. Now for that hammer-on pull-off part, 12, this is all on the B string, 12, 14, 12, 10, 12, 10, then 9, 10, 9, then 7, 9, but you're doing that twice, just like you did with Tepe's part. So now we're on the G string, 9th fret, then the 8th fret, twice, again, just like with Tepe's part. This is a harmonization of thirds the whole way through. Now for the next part, which is that very last lick, this one sounds a lot harder than it is. Dustin plays the main part, the lower part, and Tepe plays the harmony. So this is actually a pentatonic lick. And you're going to bar the 9th fret on the B and E strings with your first finger. And you're going to start on the E string. And you're doing a hammer-on pull-off from 9 to 12 to 9. Then you're going to the B string, 12th fret, and you're doing a pull-off to the 9th fret. So except in this case, you don't like, and unlike this lick that we did, you don't want them to ring through together, the strings. So even though you want to bar these two strings, you don't want them to ring together. So that's it. I don't know how many times that was, but you get the idea. Tepe harmonizes this part. His first finger is barred on the 12th fret. E and B strings again. And his pinky is going to the 16th fret. And it's the same thing. So 12, hammer on to 16, pull off back to 12. Then you're going to pluck 16 on the B string. And you're going to pull off to the 12th fret on the B string. And then for the last part, Dustin goes back into his main chord progression that he does. So he's going in and out of harmonizing with Tepe and playing those same 4 chords. I think you can figure out when he jumps back and forth. It's pretty easy to hear. And then the very last part is Tepe, of course, playing some C sharp minor pentatonic. So you're starting on the E string, 14th fret, you're bending, and then you're hitting it again on the when you bring it down. And then you're pulling off to the 12th fret, and then you're hitting the 14th fret on the B string, back down to the E string, 12th fret, those last 2 notes are 14th fret and 12th fret on the B string. So going back up to the 14th fret on the B string, pulling off to the 12th fret, to the 13th fret on the G string, back down to the 12th fret on the B string, to the 13th fret again on the G string, to the 11th fret on the G string, up to the 13th fret again, pulling off to the 11th fret, then now we're on the D string, 14th fret, to the 11th fret is where we resolve. because that's a C sharp minor. So you generally want to resolve on the root note. So here it is slowly. Okay, next we're going to climb up the pentatonic scale in first position, and that's how we end the solo. So starting on the low E, 9th fret, up to the 12th fret on that E. These are all palm muted, by the way. Then the A string, 9 and 11. 9, 11 on the D string. Then 9, 11 on the G string. That one isn't really palm muted. Next, hammer on, pull off lick. So starting on the G string, 9th fret. Hammer on to 11, pull off to 9. Then hit the root note, that is on the D string, 11th fret. Back to the G string, 9th fret. And then you're going to play that same thing, that same lick over again. And that is the TNC solo by Thrice. All right, for the outro, the rhythm is the same as the chorus, the intro. Dustin's playing it over and over again. Okay, now for the lead part, I hear something on the record that is different than the 4 chords I just played. But when I watch some live videos, I don't see Tepe doing it. But I'm pretty positive I hear something on the record. And if it's not there, it sounds cool. So the octave part I hear is very simple, mostly four notes. I'm sorry, 3 notes actually. Starting on it's all on the A string for root notes. It's starting on the 11th fret to the 12th fret, down to the 9th fret, back up to the 11th fret. And then when it gets to the end, right before the song ends, it's a little bit different. Tepe does like a slide down to C sharp, which is where they resolve the song. Right? And so Tepe goes. So 11th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, 6th fret, down to the 4th fret. And then really faintly, if you want the details, I hear something like, after they're ringing on the C sharp, I hear kind of like a pull off. That would be 7th fret, E string, 6th fret, E string, and then 4th fret. I'm sorry, not E string, A string. So there's TNC by Thrice. First lesson on the channel. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. You can help me out by liking the video or sharing it. If you have a question about the song, you're still curious about something, feel free to ask in the comments and I can reply, hopefully clear things up. If you have any feedback, please let me know. If you like these covers, if you think I did a good job and you want me to cover something else and do a lesson on it, let me know and I can try and do that. Until then, see you next time. Thanks.